This December will be my 20th year on YouTube. December 2006. 2006. 20 years. And been through various fluctuations and iterations, sometimes serious, sometimes less than serious, sometimes whatever. 20 years. And in 20 years, the biggest reaction I have ever had, not only that, the most incredibly intense encomia, panegyrics, paeans, songs of praise, plaudits, congratulations, thanks, love, affection, intellectual camaraderie, you name it. From the numquids and the quodlibets and you name it, has been this subject. Candace Owens, Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk, the trial, the everything. This is it. It was so bad at some point, I never looked at a comment. I thought, my God, they must be handing out crayons and, stilettos to write in blood. People at Creedmoor and Bellevue, every psych ward, I thought, who are these people? I even shut down comments. It was like, this was dark, grim, bleak, talking about the issues of the day. And then this subject came about, certainly not at the behest of Candace. She speaks about others, but to make a long story short, she made this thing so interesting. And now this is the most fun I have had, meeting the nicest people. I run to read comments. I can't even, it would take a day. The best I can do is like, check, thumbs up. I've never seen anything like it. And then people will write me and say, why don't you talk about whatever? The EU or whatever. It's not that it's not important. It's not that it's not important. But are you kidding me? Are you? It's this sense of, this isn't that big of a story. This isn't that big of a story. Are you kidding me? This is the biggest story. This has brought more. Let me calm down. I want to address this. I have to address. I'm telling you. It's like, why don't you call somebody? Why don't you call, ESPN if they're even on the air and say, why do you keep talking about sports? Hey, entertainment, TMZ. Why do you keep talking about? Hey, why do you keep talking about Nancy Guthrie? Hey, why do you keep talking about fashion? Why do you keep talking about health? And what are you talking about seed oils? The world is a newspaper with different sections. Can you imagine the utter hubris, the audacity, the unmitigated cojones to tell somebody, why aren't you talking about this? What? And take this momentum, take these wonderful people I've met and what? Tell them, I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Why? Because the Strait of Hormuz is calling. Are you out of your mind? No, you're not. I'm going to address this. But first, this. Last year, we talked about Alaska, a powerhouse of mineral wealth with a long track record of responsible development. Now it's back in focus with support from the Department of Defense and Department of Energy and the reopening of the Ambler Road project under President Trump. Momentum is building fast. Vizsla Copper, trading as VCUFF in the U.S. and VCU in Canada, has taken a major step forward. The company now owns 100% of the Palmer project, a high-grade asset believed to hold billions in in-ground value. It was even named by Alaska's governor in a memo to the White House as a priority for domestic critical minerals. And here is the headline. Washington just rolled out over $42 billion in support for critical minerals in early 2026 alone. We have seen this before. Similar backing sent other Alaska explorers up over 200%. Vizsla trades at a fraction of that value. Bottom line, America is rebuilding its mineral supply chain and domestic supply is winning. Big thanks to Vizsla Copper for making today's video possible. I'm not trying to be mean, but I've just got to share this with you. And I would venture to say, maybe, I don't think I'm the only one, but something tells me that other great commentators or influencers or whatever the hell I am, those who have their own channels, I'm sure they must get this to an extent. Let me give you this. I'm going to read this. I'm never going to ever say who wrote me an email. Never. But I will talk about the comment. This is an email I got today. And by the way, I sent out a newsletter regarding this, and you can sign up for the newsletter below. It's regarding the Erika Kirk case or whatever it was. Okay. So it reads as follows, and I'm just going to be a part of it. I personally would like to hear your analysis, mine, on the many other events unfolding internationally, from the obvious issues occurring in the Persian Gulf. Oh, I know you want to hear mine on that, because it's so fascinating. And by the way, everything on the news, it's so different. It's so different. I've been hearing some great people, I swear to you, from February, was it 28th till now, you can't tell 1 week from the next one. It's the same interview. It's the same interview. It's a different interview, exactly the same way. Anyway, I would like your opinion occurring in the Persian Gulf, where we need you to get to the audience to question the propaganda from so many sources. You must question the propaganda. Stop with Erika. Stop with this trial. Question the propaganda of the Persian Gulf. Dear God, to the shenanigans occurring in Europe on multiple fronts: Ukraine war, the downward spiral of the EU and the UK, Hungary's election interference and its implications, and so much more. Oh, Orban, you're dying to talk about that. I know so many of you are saying, I don't want to hear anything about this Erika Kirk, anything about TPUSA, or anything about Tyler COVID. I don't want to hear it. I want to talk about Orban in Hungary. Throw all this away. Not only that, it bores the living shit out of me. Pardon my French. There's nothing to say. This pseudo-intellectual pap from a bunch of people who have no idea or no control over something that is this arcana, this recondite stuff, which sounds good. Maybe you could, when you walk into your indie film, with your Birkenstocks and socks and your cloth strand bag and your New York Times and your Economist, and you can wax philosophic about Orban. And then there are the domestic issues here: immigration failure of Congress acting on the Save America Act. Ooh, immigration. There's something. I'll bet you there's a lot of people who don't like what's going on in immigration. Probably. The hostile takeover of Virginia by Governor Spanberger. Riveting. The anti-Nick Shirley law. God damn it. That's the best. The anti-Nick Shirley law. Yes. How stupid could I be? How stupid. Here I am talking about the most fascinating case at every level, involving ballistics and murder and intrigue and this lunatic widow wife and oh my God. No. The anti-Nick Shirley law. A ruse to protect the country, crippling fraud. And I'm not trying to be mean, but are you kidding? Do I have a death wish? I swear to you, there's two parts of this. One is, I would say this, oh, well, I get this all the time. I get this. I mean, there are people. I know one person has been talking about the moon landing for as long as I've known him. That's his prerogative. Another one wants to talk about every week somebody new is the Antichrist. JD Vance is the Antichrist. He's the Antichrist. The Pope is the Antichrist. Trump is the Antichrist. Then there's the TDS stuff all the time. Trump's crazy. He's losing his mind. His ankles. Look at his ankles. What the hell do you want? His ankles. He's got ankles. He's losing them. Put him in a mental hospital. His ankles. Look at his ankles. And he's got a little purple thing on his hand. Look at his ankles. He's crazy. He's nuts. What are you doing? Then the ones talk about Epstein. Every week is Epstein. Everybody's got their thing. Everybody. They've got these things. This area. The no kings. We have a friend of ours who I think lost her mind. And she can't even tell me what no kings are. But I don't call them and say, are you talking about this? Would you please get off that subject? Why? Because I don't find it interesting. I know. I've got a friend of mine who's sitting Shiva, who I think might harm himself because the Mets are 10 games down or whatever. It's their prerogative. It's the way people think. But it's two things. It's this hubristic, this sense of this is so pedestrian. This is so Candace Owens is the biggest person in the news today. I could go down to Times Square and ask anybody if they want to talk about the Nick Shirley. I mean, seriously. Now, that doesn't mean just because a number of people who don't know it. But for 20 years on YouTube, I've never seen anything like this. Comments constantly. And not only that, opening up to a brand new from a stylistic point of view, from somebody who is a commentator or somebody who's selecting, various subjects to talk about. I'm enjoying this at levels that I never knew possible. And to say it's the same old thing, no. It is so complex. And it's not about merely saying, oh, isn't Candace great? Well, she is great, but it's the subject matter and her take. Why? Because she happens to be in the middle of it most of the time herself. So you get the active participant in this story. You have the complete and total dissolution of what was called MAGA, whatever the hell this thing is called. You've got people for the first time sitting back and they're saying, I don't even know what's going on anymore. You've got crazy bug-eyed Kash Patel wants to sue with the Atlantic because somebody. You've got all this. Speaking of which, Candace herself, who was the subject of defamation from the head of state. I mean, this is just unbelievable. And if I hear this word breaking news one more time, I'm going to soil myself because it's not breaking, it's just new. And that's kind of what news is. It's in the name. New, as in new stuff. Breaking, I don't even know what that means. We live in a world of basically news or cable platforms run by in this simian, this ethos run by a bunch of morons who don't know anything. Literally don't know anything. They don't know anything. You've got the same people saying the same thing. I've heard this morning, and of the news I listen to, I do not listen to anything called conventional. Nothing. Because I know what it's going to be. So we're listening to the notion of whether the United States can seize a ship, because I know a little bit about Admiralty. In fact, we're in the class in law school, which I love. Whether we can basically, is President Trump committing piracy by seizing an Iranian ship? Okay, whatever. I might as well just put a pillow over the face of my channel and just say goodbye. Thank you. It was nice. As it struggles and says, why are you forsaking me? Why? Because some guy wants to talk about Viktor Orban and the Hungarian revolution, or it might be revolution. Can you imagine this person programming? What are you going to lead with today? Well, I thought maybe we talk about the Nick Shirley. Get out of here. Get out. Clean out your desk, and get out. What is this? What is this, NPR? NPR's dead. This is so interesting. Does anybody, do you know what the number one format, this is the funniest thing in the world when people talk about the number one format in podcasting is true crime. Normally by two 12-year-old girls who say, and then like this guy came in and like, wow, he was like, what is this? It's moronic. This is so mental, but it's true crime. This is new crime. I've got a mystery evolving before your very eyes. Before your very eyes. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Personalities as big as you can get. Erika Kirk, certifiably, absolutely, 100% batshit nuts, off the walls, self-absorbent. Absorbent sounds like a personal, like a napkin or something, or some kind of an adult undergarment. It's absorbent, self-absorbed, egomaniacal, egocentric, solipsistic, self-referential, living in a blinder's world, raised by a woman who makes Kris Kardashian look like Ma Walton. You know what I mean? This Olivia, and hi, John Boy. You think those Kardashians are conniving? Mother selling porn tapes of her daughter, right? Playing hide the soap with some guy. Are you kidding me? You don't know Lori Franz. This. Oh my God. And the narratives and the lies from a woman who doesn't know that anybody would be going back and remembering what she did. And you want me to talk about what? What? The Strait of Hormuz? How about the Bab el-Mandeb? Huh? How about the Houthis in the Red Sea? And we talk about that? Maybe the Suez Canal. Maybe, yeah, that's it. Yeah, goodbye, folks. Goodbye. I'm going to talk about that because I'm going to give you my take. On hypocrisy. On are you kidding me? For the love of God. And there's other things to talk about as well. By the way, look at AI and AGI with Tim Cook stepping down. That's what I mean. I mean that sincerely. But for me, there's this sense of I'm too good for this. I'm too good for this. This is too pedestrian, too pulp, too pap, too tabloid, too, National Enquirer. Beneath me. I'm an intellectual. I want to talk about, things that nobody can figure out. You don't know. And by the way, let me tell you something. You better watch out what you say in conventional stories or platforms about what's going on in the Middle East, because you know what happens if you say the wrong thing. You know what happens. And by the way, that's more of Candace's repertoire and others as well. This case, put it this way, this has international intrigue. If you follow some of the theories, some of the hypotheses as far as the demise, the dispatch of Dear Charlie, you've got international intrigue, and you've got a bunch of people who might be from other countries who might be basically doing, that's what I feel about this whole thing, who might have done him in pursuant to a conspiracy beyond anything you've ever seen. So let me just remind you of what's going on. I'm not somebody who just does this because it's like, this is utterly and absolutely fascinating. And I'll tell you what, you do something. You form your YouTube channel and you bore the living shit out of everybody when you talk. I'm sorry, I'm so scatological, but this enrages me. And you talk about about Houthis. Go ahead, about Hamas versus Hezbollah versus. Go ahead. Go ahead. And we'll talk about whether we're going to have the annexation of the West Bank versus this, or the Gaza, and whether Greater Israel. You want to do that? Do it. Do it. And let me know how you do. Let me know how you do. Let me know how you challenge the world. And let me also say one thing. There's a lot of great people up here, a lot of great people, and they're great. I swear to God, they are so good, they're so brilliant, and I follow them tremendously. But with all due respect, if I played 3 different interviews, one was a year ago, one was 6 months ago, and one was yesterday, And I played them for her. I said, guess which one was yesterday versus a year ago? They said, I can't tell. Maybe the change of the clothing, maybe a hairstyle is different, but you don't know because nothing changes. It's the same thing. And it's the same thing over and over again. You don't realize it because here's the best part about this. And this is the most part. And I hate to burst anybody's bubbles, but you are in the scheme of things an insignificant tit. And nobody's listening to you. And you can think all you want about what is and isn't being done, and whether Mohammed bin Salman really should be doing this and that, and whether the Houthis and the Hezbollah, and whether this, and whether the Greater Israel, and whether baby should be indicted or not. Great. Do yourself a favor. Take your opinion, put it in a paper bag, and throw it away. Because in the scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's fun, you know. It's kind of like verbal masturbation. It's onanistic. It's self-abuse. Go ahead. Yank the crank. Shake hands with Shorty. Go crazy. And then tomorrow, start again. Because I hate to tell it to you, you're a civilian and nobody's asking you your opinion. You're not over there making any decisions as far as this. But here, believe it or not, in a domestic case, in a murder case involving one of the most significant, I don't have to tell you about OJ, do you? Remember OJ? They told me the same thing. OJ was the biggest story ever. This is going to dwarf OJ. Believe me when I'm telling you this, because, and this isn't about race or whatever. No, this is, the reason why it's important is you've got some of the greatest deep divers and investigators ever who are pooling their resources and analyzing this. They're not just sitting back, bored and saying, well, that's interesting. Today they had the ATF apparently couldn't match that, those fragments. No, you've got people who are themselves either military or they have experience like you can't believe. All of these people not only watching, not passively, but plumbing the depths and investigating this at levels you can't believe. It's unbelievable. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's unbelievable. I'm not going to be talking about Viktor Orban. And I'm not going to be talking about whatever the hell it is you said. Because I'm not going to take and walk away from one of the best stories ever in order to satisfy this recondite and this nitpicky, punctilious, preoccupied pap that you want me to focus on. It's ridiculous and nobody cares. Believe it or not. Walk anywhere. That's not what Americans are talking about. Believe me when I'm telling you, that's not it. They don't give a shit about what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz or this or that, or whether this theocratic mullah or mum. No, they want to make sure their gas prices don't work, that they can afford to fill their car up. That's about it. Stop it. Stop it with this pseudo-intellectual garbage, this contrived, pretend, this artificial. Again, it's hubristic and it's artificial and it's synthetic. And I've said enough. If you want more of this and more of me and more of Candace and everybody else and all of the great folks from you name it, if you want more about what's going on regarding the Tyler Robinson's case, and if you want to also explore this is like a post-mortem, this is like a necropsy, autopsy, well, somebody's still alive, to watching this bananas, the Joan Crawford of Creedmoor, Erika Kirk. If you want more of this, you stick with me. If you want to talk about Viktor Orban, you know where to go. But I don't think you want to talk about that because you're not nuts. You're not crazy. All right? Good. Now do me a big solid, as the kids say. I want you to like this video. Really like it. Number 2, I want you to hit that little button to indicate the follow button so you can be notified of new videos and online and streaming and all that kind of jazz. You know what I'm trying to say. And also subscribe if you want to hear more of this. And I know you do. And I've got some questions for you because I want you to comment as you see fit.